So thanks for joining us today. We're going to be doing some optical illusion mindful drawing. So these are quite similar to some of the geometric drawings we did towards the beginning of lockdown. You can find that video on our website. So today all we're going to be doing is we're just going to be using some paper, a biro or sort of thinner fine liner, a thicker pen. I'm just going for a Sharpie, and a pencil and a ruler as well. If you don't have the ruler, it's not the end of the world, you can kind of work around it. So the first one we're going to be doing, you will need to draw a box. So we're just going to draw a rough square box. And then I'm going to just draw lines all the way down. So these are really good for mindful drawing, similar to kind of doing adult colouring books or anything like that. You're kind of creating your own patterns and then filling them in, and hopefully when you are kind of sat filling them in, it is quite good for your brain just to kind of switch off a little bit and think about something else for a while. If you do struggle with kind of worrying or stress or anxiety or anything, this is really good for that, just so you can kind of concentrate on one thing. So once you've done your square, we're actually going to go in with our bigger pen. So for this you can use felt tip pen, Sharpie, anything like that. And we're just going to draw over our pencil when we're happy with our pencil lines. And then we're basically going to draw some diamond shapes. So the first one, you're just going to start with a V, and then you're going to continue down your lines, drawing diamond shapes just like that. So I'm just doing these quite quickly today just to show you some different techniques. You can take as long as you want on these. And then the next line you want to do the opposite, so you're starting with the inverted V and continuing down with your diamond shapes. So as you can see now, you've got 2 rows, and you want to just continue alternating that pattern until you get to the other side. So for anyone who has just joined us, we're just doing some mindful drawing today. These are sort of optical illusion drawings, similar to some of the geometric stuff that we did at the beginning of lockdown. Some of them are quite intricate and some of them are quite time consuming, but it can be really helpful for mental health, any kind of stress or anxiety, if you just want to concentrate on doing something else for a little while. Lots of different techniques for optical illusion drawings as well. You can find a lot of inspiration on Pinterest. Or if you're feeling particularly creative, you can have a go at doing some yourself. So now you've filled it all, you're going to want to fill in your diamond shapes in black, so using your Sharpie or felt pen or anything that you've got to hand, you're just going to want to fill all those in. If you do have a go at doing any of these yourself today, please do send in some pictures. We always love to see what you've been up to, or if you have something else that you enjoy doing at home which is quite mindful or relaxing for you, please do share that with us as well. So I'm just going to, as I say, do this quite quickly today just to show you. You can do this a lot more neatly at home and spend more time over it if you'd like to. So I'll be showing you just 2 or 3 different techniques today that you can have a go at home. And again, for anyone just joining us, today we're just doing some optical illusion, mindful drawings, and if you do want to join at home, all you need is a pen, pencil and a sort of thicker marker or felt tip pen, and a ruler as well optionally if you want to do something a bit looser, which I'll show you after this. You don't need a ruler for that, but for this one it is a little bit easier to draw the lines. But you can also do this on lined paper if you don't have a ruler. So I'll just show you so you can see how it starts sticking together. If you take your thinner pen, if you've got a biro or a fine liner, you just want to start filling them in sort of every other square from the side, or not square, every other shape from the side, and you're just using kind of downward strokes. And then again, just go in, starting at the top. And you're doing every other. And as you see, once you start putting these lines in, it starts coming together and you start getting that kind of 3D effect. And it just starts jumping out at you a bit, so you kind of get that 3D kind of cube effect. So the more of this you do, the more it starts to come together and you can kind of start to see the illusion. So I'll just do half of this one today so you can kind of get the gist of the effect and what it looks like when you first start. And I will finish these off and post some pictures of them afterwards just so you can see the finished thing. So the next one I'm going to do it on the other side of here. This one again, I'm just going to draw a square. Can be any size. Obviously the bigger you draw the square, the more you'll have to fill in, so just bear that in mind if you want to do something a bit quicker, or if you maybe want to do something that's going to take a bit more time, or that you can do over a period of time, over a few days, something you can keep coming back to. So this one I'm just going to start it's sort of in a spiral almost, but more. Triangle based, so kind of start just drawing random triangles in the corners, and you really just want to keep adding to this. And this is quite a random one, there's no particular way of doing this. I would say try and make the triangles a bit bigger on the outside and then getting smaller as you go towards the centre. So as you can see, it starts with the triangles on the outside, and then as you kind of move inwards, it's almost like petals. Like rose petals, and you just keep going, keep filling in. Towards the centre. And then as you get closer to the centre, you want to just start making those shapes a little bit smaller. And then that kind of gives the illusion of depth. And you just want to keep going. Getting smaller and smaller until you are running out of space. Sort of like that. So already you can see that kind of effect. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over all of that again with my Sharpie pen. So again, it's totally up to you, whatever you want to do with this. You don't have to mark outlines or anything. You can use a biro. You can do it all with a thick pen. You can use coloured pens as well. It doesn't always have to be just black and white. Sometimes it's just a bit more of a sort of standout effect if you do just use black and white. Keep going, filling these lines in. And you don't have to worry too much about these being perfect either. You can take a lot of time over them and make them look really quite impressive, you know, if you do them on a bigger scale, but it can also just be about the experience of drawing and sitting and filling things in and just using it as more of a mindful exercise than creating a piece of artwork, you know, that you're happy with at the end of it. It can be something that you just do and then never look at again. Or it can be something that you do and you're quite proud of and you might want to put it in a frame. Totally up to you. And then all I'm doing is just starting to fill these in with very thin lines, so using a fine liner or a biro, or if you did want to continue with your thicker pen you can do that too. And I'm doing them in different directions. And doing them maybe a little bit further apart at the shapes on the outside, and then as you kind of get further into the centre you can do the lines a little bit closer together, and that again just gives the illusion of those being a little bit further away. And just remember, every shape you're filling in, you're doing it in a slightly different direction. And if you did want to, you can go in that centre shape and just fill that in black. So just continue going in different directions and filling these in any way you like. Like I say, I'm doing this a little bit quicker today just to show you how you can do it. Again, just a little bit closer together towards the centre. And just keep going until you've filled everything in. And the other thing you can do if you do want a bit more depth is you can take your pencil and shade any of this sort of area in. If you feel like you want a bit more depth in this sort of area, or kind of leading up to it, you can just do a little bit of shading around these inner areas, and it will just give you a bit more that illusion of depth. So that's the second one. Again, I'll finish this off and post a picture of it afterwards. And the third one that we're going to be doing, it's definitely a little bit more time consuming, but it does give a really, really great effect afterwards. So again, take your ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use some lined paper, or just use a sort of flat surface. Or you can freehand it as well. And I'm just doing 2 tracks either side. And then I'm gonna just do some random kind of wavy lines down the middle. You can go either way. And they're kind of going to be our guidelines. So this one, I'm going to use the thicker pen, but if you want it to be a little bit more intricate, you can use your biro. And I'm just going to start kind of connecting these up in between. The two columns either side, you always want to have a horizontal line there. And then in the middle section where the wavy lines are, you can connect these up however you like. So again, you're just keeping these two columns, you're keeping those lines nice and straight and horizontal, and then when you get to your wavy guidelines in the middle, you can create whatever patterns you want, follow them around. You can have the lines further apart, closer together, it's totally up to you, but once you have done it, you will have quite a sort of interesting illusion. And depending on how big or small you do this one, it can be quite time consuming, but it's also really good for you to come back to, and you can spend a few days on it. If you're maybe working from home or you want a bit of a break, just to concentrate on something else, you can do this in your lunch hour. So again, this is the sort of pattern that you have to do a bit of for it to sort of start to come together. And then sort of as you step away from it, you can start to see the illusion happening. And no sort of two drawings you do will ever be the same, so that's kind of the beauty of this. Every one you do is going to be slightly different. Keep going, following the lines. Whether they're closer together or further apart. As long as you have the guides of the straight lines at the side, you can do anything you want in the middle. So again, you just keep going until you sort of start to see that illusion, and once you finish the whole thing, these sort of wavy lines should be popping out a little bit more. So I'll just do a little bit more on this today, and then what I'll do is I'll finish these off and I'll post some pictures so you can see what the finished thing looks like. And if you do have a go at doing any of these at home or anything similar, please do let us know. Send us some pictures. Or if you find you do anything else at home as well, which helps you relax, we'd love to hear about that too. Also, any suggestions for future workshops, please do let us know. If there's any particular thing you'd like us to tackle or anything you'd like to see on our Facebook page, just let us know and we'll see what we can do. So I will finish this off and post some pictures, and just to show you some of the other things we've done today as well. We've had this kind of 3D cube effect, and also this almost kind of rose looking depth drawing as well. So these are all super easy. If you've missed anything today, we will be posting this video on our page afterwards, so you can follow along anytime. It will also be on our website soon as well. So thank you so much for joining us. I will be posting the finished versions of this on our Facebook page soon, so you can see what they turn out like when they're finished. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you.